Hey guys, welcome to the Shopware Boostday and to our first lesson on how to use Dockware. I want to start with an easy thing, so the basic is, what is actually Dockware? Dockware itself is nothing more than a usual Docker image, but the good thing is it comes with everything you need to have a smooth and fast running Shopware 6. So I think one of the most important things is to get yourself a little bit familiar with Docker if you're not yet familiar with it. But I will also cover the most important things today. So besides that, what is a Docker container and image? So a Docker image is basically the template. A Docker container is the running instance of that image. And to access such an instance, you need to expose a port because the IP address of a Docker container is the combination of the local host domain and the assigned port. So that means if we assign port 80 to our container, the HTTP port, we can go to localhost on port 80 and get directly into our container, which already has the Apache running and listening for that HTTP port. Let me now show you how to start a Dockware image and container. So we go into a terminal and enter docker run, which is the basic to run a new container. We append the remove flag so that it's automatically removed afterwards and use our port 80, which connects into the container, also on port 80. And we just use one of our latest Dockware play image. And as soon as it's downloaded, it should automatically start to boot, which is pretty fast, and you can see the URLs down there, which show you everything you need to know to access all these different pages and services that come out of the box with Dockware. So what do we have? We have a running shop on our localhost HTTP port. We have the administration localhost/admin with the default credentials. We do have access to the database through our adminer, we have a mail catcher, and we have pimp my logs, where you can immediately see all these logs in your browser. So now let's get back to the basics and have a bit more theory. If we scroll down on our landing page, there is an overview about all our different images we provide from Dockware. So there is the Play edition, which comes without any developer stuff. So just for testing, if you quickly want to see how Shopware 6 works. We have the development version, which comes obviously with dev packages. So that is if you want to develop a shop or plugins for a Shopware 6 or Shopware 5 shop. We have the Contribute edition. The Contribute edition is more if you really want to work on Shopware 6, if you want to contribute maybe today on that Boostday. And the Essentials image comes with everything except Shopware. So it's totally your choice what version to put on the container. It's just a blank one. All the other images you see here, they are coming with Shopware on it. Then we also have the Flex edition, which is a perfect fit if you just want to run a plain Symfony or any PHP or any different application. And we do provide an easy to use reverse proxy based on Nginx. If we now scroll down to the features Dockware comes with, you see that there is plenty of stuff you can use. So there is support for all available Shopware 6 versions, all combined with multiple PHP versions. There's the option for Xdebug, database management using the built-in adminer, mail catcher, watchers, log access, Tideways profiler, and we also do our best to provide you easy to use make commands so you don't need to know that much and can easily work with our Dockware images. If you are still a bit confused on what image to use, we have lots of information about all available images in all these different versions. And in the quick start guide, there's also an overview about all these different use cases that you might have. So you can go with the use case of a simple PHP environment, or you need all these services like admin and stuff like that in an essentials image when you manage Shopware on your own. Or You can use the available play, dev, or contribute versions that, as already mentioned, come with Shopware 6 and with different packages for development purpose or just for experimental and testing purpose. And if you scroll down, you see the commands that I've already used in the beginning of this video. So now that you're familiar with the images and theory stuff, I would say let's head on to our documentation guide and get you started. So first thing is, you probably need to install Docker on your Mac, on your Linux, or on your Windows system. So it basically works really good. Some Windows versions do not have the option to run Docker, but just install it and give it a try on your machine. There are some things that you can do regarding performance to tweak it a little bit, but I will skip it for this video. You can read it, it's on the website. We just continue by running Dockware on your machine. So we do see the command that I've used in the beginning of this video. So what I would love you to do now is to try to start your first Dockware Play version on your local machine. As soon as it has downloaded and finished booting, you should see the output that is visible below. And afterwards, you can give it a try and open the local hosts in your browser, and Shopware should be visible. Another great thing is you can change the latest tag to be something else, so like the 6.13 specific Shopware 6 version, or even use environment variables to, let's say, change the PHP version, which we are going to do now. So we use Docker PS to see all currently available containers that are running, and we just simply remove it with Docker rm for remove and a force tag. If we take a close look on our previously launched image, we see PHP 7.4 has been used. So let's just give it a try and restart our Docker Play latest version and just append the environment variable PHP version and change it to 7.3. Now just start a container, and down there you should see that it is going to switch over to PHP 7.3, and down there we have it being used as our currently active PHP version. Okay, so the next thing I'd love to show you is how to start Dockware or Docker images in a detached mode. So let's just remove our previous Docker container. Now switch over to our first tab, and we are now going to add the -d argument, which started in a detached mode. Don't add it at the end, so you gotta append the -d before the image, but then it is working, and we do now see nothing. If we enter Docker PS, we do see our running new Docker container, so after starting it, we can continue to use our terminal. So let's just remove it once again. Alright, so now that you know how to start and quit your containers and change environment variables, we should move on to how to update Dockware. So let's move back to our terminal window, and updating a Docker image is pretty easy by just using Docker pull and your image along with the tag that you want to update. If you need an overview about all your images on your local machine, you can use Docker images. Just locate the Dockware Play, and you see that this version has been created 3 weeks ago. Good. So let's clear it, and next one is using the advanced run. So I would say advanced in that case means the usage of a Docker Compose. So a Docker Compose is a file based on a YAML syntax, and it basically allows you to have your whole network Docker infrastructure scripted in a simple file that you can start just with a simple command. So you can have the shop container, but you can also use any other Docker container such as the MySQL, Redis, Elastic, you name it. Alright, so let's remove that one, bring it back to the original shop container only, and try to start it. And starting of a Docker Compose means you have to be in that folder and just use Docker Compose up. And if you prefer it, -d for detached. So we have our Docker container. It has our pretty name from our YAML configuration. If you just want to stop it, you can use Docker Compose down to completely remove it, or even Docker Compose stop, or any other command available for the Docker Compose. We're almost through. I think one of the last things that we probably need to take a look at it is that you might be missing the log output in detached mode. So it is available. If we just start it in detached, there is the command docker logs and your container name, and then you do have access to all output that we were used to have when running without detached mode. Now to the more advanced things. So there is an option to run Shopware 5 or plain Symfony applications. There is plenty of documentation available about how to switch your PHP version, how to do file beat stuff, do a separate SSH users, and all other things. But what might be interesting for you is the FAQ with the default credentials, so you know how to log in, you know how to handle things like failed MySQL, or even some troubles that could occur on a Windows operating system. Alright, these were the basics about Docker and Dockware. You should now be able to use any of our Dockware images. Thank you for watching.